Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to World Football Alliance Crunch Time. I'm your host, DB Love, here on the World Sports and Entertainment Network. This week, we're in week 17 of the World Football Alliance, final week in the regular season, gearing up for the WFA playoffs. Let's get right into it with the Alliance Division, a lot to cover. Teams on a bye this week were London. San Antonio was on a bye. San Antonio is in playoff contention. There are 5 teams remaining fighting for the remaining playoff positions in the Alliance Division. San Antonio is one of those at 6-6. They sit idle in a bye this week, along with Chicago and Columbus Aviators. Let's get to the Week 16 Players of the Week. In the United Division, Offensive Player of the Week last week, Parker Culberson, quarterback for the Portland Snowhawks. Parker went 38 of 55, 439 yards and 3 touchdowns. Defensive Player of the Week was Curry Boston, middle linebacker for the Austin Desperados. He had 7 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries, so 4 takeaways for Curry Boston last week. Congratulations to those players. We start things off this week in week 17. We had Brooklyn taking on the Orlando Wizards. Brooklyn, who has already clinched a playoff position, won that one 23-20. They improved to 10-2. Orlando ends their season at 5-7. Up next, we had Sacramento taking on Mexico City Golden Eagles. Mexico City won that one 27-10. They also end at 5-7. Sacramento ends their season at 4-8. Up next, we had a Texas battle and an upset. The Austin Desperados win their 3rd game of the year. They upset Houston 22-14. Austin ends the season with a record of 3-9. Houston falls to 6-6. Houston is the second team of those 5 that were fighting for a remaining playoff spot. So this is a even bigger upset for them, given that. Will this loss cause Houston to miss the playoffs? Stay tuned and find out. Up next, we had Salt Lake City taking on San Diego Aftershock. Salt Lake City won that one 34-19. Salt Lake City in the year with a 7-5 record. San Diego Aftershock, who have already qualified for the playoffs, end with an 8-4 record. That was also an upset. Salt Lake City is the 3rd team of 5 in contention for the final playoff spot, so that was a big win for Salt Lake City, and we'll have to see if that win helps them get into the playoffs. Up next, a 3rd upset this week, we had Memphis Hounds taking on Oklahoma City Nighthawks. The Nighthawks upset the Hounds 34-13. Nighthawks end the year with a 5-7 record. Memphis ends the year with an 8-4 record. And our game of the week this week, the final 2 teams that are fighting for playoff position, Portland Snowhawks and Toronto Thunderbirds, battling out for their playoff lives right here. Check it out.
And we start the scoring here in this very important game, Week 17. Here in the World Football Alliance, these 2 teams fighting for one of the final playoff positions. Portland quarterback Parker Culberson scrambles it in for a touchdown and a 7-3 lead late in the first quarter. Alright, and we have reached halftime here in Toronto, Canada. Portland Snowhawks lead 10-6. The lone touchdown in the first half came when Parker Culverson scrambled it in for the Portland Snowhawks. Other than that, it's been all field goals here in the first half. And there you have it. In the third quarter, Toronto Thunderbirds finally get on the board. Quarterback Fetterkill hits the receiver Zamantis right there for the touchdown. Extra point to come to tie this game at 13. 5 minutes to play, third quarter. And after giving up the touchdown to Toronto, Portland drive right back down the field, answer back. Parker Culverson hits Barksdale with a pass to get into the end zone. Extra point gives the Snowhawks a 20-13 lead at the end of the third quarter. What a play to answer back for the Toronto Thunderbirds. Quarterback Fetterkill hits Keel, the receiver, with a deep 71-yard passing catch. Big time play in the fourth quarter to start the fourth quarter to re-tie this game at 20. No, extra point is blocked. That could be a huge play here. Portland blocked the extra point. See the edge rusher come off from the corner and block the extra point. So despite the touchdown, Portland hold on to a 20-19 lead to start the fourth quarter. And here we go, Toronto Thunderbirds, 4th and goal. Looking to take the lead in this one, and it is no good. Pass broke up in the end zone by the Portland Snowhawks to maintain a 23-19 lead inside of the 2-minute warning here in this football game. And there we have it. It is a final here in Toronto, Canada. Portland Snowhawks win this very important game with playoff implications. With the win, Portland moves one step closer to qualifying for the World Football Alliance playoffs. With the loss, the Toronto Thunderbirds are gonna need some help to sneak into the playoffs. Big win for Portland to continue their season possibly here. Take a look at the numbers. Portland did it on the ground, 200 yards rushing.
There you have it. Portland Snowhawks come out on top. They improve their chances of making the playoffs. They end the year with an 8-4 record. Thunderbirds fall with a record of 5-7, and they will likely miss the playoffs due to that loss. Speaking of playoffs, I said already, Brooklyn and San Diego have clinched along with the Columbus Aviators. Stay tuned for our upcoming playoff special to see the complete playoff matchups for the upcoming playoffs. Now let's shoot over to the United Division. Several teams on a bye here in Week 17 in the United Division. Chicago Blues had a bye. Mexico City Conquistadors, Houston, Toronto Huskies had a bye. They are in contention for one of the final United Division playoff spots at 6-6. Salt Lake City had a bye, as well did the Memphis Steamers. The Week 16 Players of the Week in the United Division. Offensive Player of the Week was Roy Dale, quarterback for Dublin Celtic Tigers. Roy went 21 of 31, 312 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Defensive Player of the Week was Longhurst, strong safety for Salt Lake City Pioneers. Long had 9 tackles, an interception, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. So let's get right into our scores this week for the United Division. We start things off with Columbus Caps taking on Sacramento. Columbus won that one barely, 13-12. Columbus ends the year with a record of 5-7. Sacramento ends with a record of 4-8. Up next, we have Dublin Celtic Tigers taking on the London Black Knights. London wins that one 17-10. Both teams end the season with a record of 7-5. Dublin Celtic Tigers, one of the teams in contention for a final United Division playoff spot, so we'll have to see how that loss affects them. Up next, San Diego Crusaders took on San Antonio Dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts won that one 27-20. They end the year with a 7-5 record. San Diego ends the year with a 6-6 record. Up next, we had the division leading Austin Armadillos, who have already clinched a playoff spot. They took on Portland. Austin won that one 31-24 to end the year with a 10-2 record. Portland ends the year with a 5-7 record. Now we'll get to our highlight, the third and final team battling for a playoff spot, Oklahoma City Bisons. They take on the Brooklyn Beats with a chance at the playoffs on the line. Check it out.
And just like that, Brooklyn have taken the opening kickoff of this game. Cooper Schaefer 4 of 4 on this drive. He scrambled for a first down. They've ran for a couple of first downs. Very efficient drive here by the Beats to start this game off here. But it looks like the Oklahoma City defense is trying to stand up right here on the goal line. They've now forced a 3rd and goal from the 5. Power I formation for the Beats. Schaefer turns, hands to Murray. He stops short. Big stand by OKC defense right at the goal line to force a Brooklyn field goal here in this important game in the United Division. Oh, it's a fake. It's a fake. Cohen will pass for a touch. Oh, he dropped it at the back of the end zone. Oh, my goodness. That could have huge implications in the outcome of this game. Brooklyn faked the field goal attempt. The pass goes to a wide open, looks like lineman, maybe backup tight end Zimmer, back of the end zone. He dropped a wide open touchdown pass. Score remains 0-0 here early in Brooklyn, New York, in this important game with playoff implications. And we finally open the scoring in the second quarter. Brooklyn Beats continue their efficient offense. They march down the field. This time they're able to get in the end zone. Cooper Schaefer hits Douglas on an inside slant for a 7-0 Brooklyn Beats lead. And after Brooklyn opened the scoring in this one, Oklahoma City answer right back next possession. Dalton Booth scrambles out, hits the receiver in the flat, who walks in for the touchdown to tie this game at 7 in the second quarter. And that does it for our first half here in Brooklyn, New York. See the score, 10-7 Beats lead after adding a field goal late in the second quarter. Touchdown Brooklyn Beats at the end of the third quarter after converting on a couple field goals to take the lead 13-10 for Oklahoma City. Brooklyn answered back Cobbs, the running back, did it all that drive. A long touchdown run there to regain the lead for Brooklyn, 17-13. And after the Brooklyn touchdown, very first possession for Oklahoma City, Dalton Booth scrambles, fumbles the football, recovered by the Brooklyn Beats on their own side of the field. And after fumbling the football, Oklahoma City able to stop Brooklyn, get the football back. They drive down inside the red zone, facing a fourth down. They decide to go for it, and Dalton Booth fires a pass to the receiver right there for a touchdown. On fourth down, gutsy call by Oklahoma City pays off. They get into the end zone and take the lead in the fourth quarter, 20-17. Picked off. Oklahoma City picks off Cooper Shaver. Dobbins jumps in front of the pass, picks it off, takes it to the house for a pick six to extend the Oklahoma City lead here late in the fourth quarter. And another pick six for Oklahoma City puts the game away. Brooklyn had the football driving down the field, trailing only by 7. Inside a minute, trying to tie the game and force overtime, Cooper Schaefer throws back across his body, back across the field. Picked off again for a second pick six of the game to ice the game for the Oklahoma City Bison. And that does it. We've reached a final here in Brooklyn, New York. Last play of the game, Cooper Schaefer threw a third interception, picked off by Dobbins. Again, his second interception of the game. It'll end Oklahoma City Bison win 34-20 over the hometown Brooklyn Beats. Cooper Schaefer would start the scoring off, hitting the receiver there. Great game by Claudson Cobbs, running back for Brooklyn. But Oklahoma City turned up the heat in the second half. Defense had a couple takeaways. They were able to pull away and win this important game with playoff implications. We'll see how this affects both teams. Good game
and
here.
There you have it. Oklahoma City, after that game, ends the year with a 7-5 record. Brooklyn ends the year with a 6-6 record. As I said, two teams have already clinched the playoffs here in the United Division: Austin Armadillos and Salt Lake City. So tune in next week for the playoff preview to see the remaining teams from the United Division that made the playoffs. That's going to do it for Week 17. It's been an outstanding World Football Alliance season. Can't wait to get into the playoffs. As I said, stay tuned for a playoff preview episode. We're going to preview the upcoming playoffs, talk about MVPs, and give out our yearly awards and gear up for the playoffs. So be sure to check that out. Sorry you hear some construction going on. We're here at our new World Sports and Entertainment headquarters. We will see you guys for the playoff preview. Also check out the United States Basketball Championship. We'll see you guys next time.